Hey everyone, this is Rachel and I'm here with another episode of Lift and Sketch with Christy and Rachel. Today Christy and I are taking on this sketch by Laura Whitaker. Now it is a one photo sketch and I do try to mix it up, but this is one of those where the photo is really representative of the story I'm telling. So it's a photo of me when I was a teenager, and I'm just going to be talking about, being a teenager in the mid-90s and the fashions and stuff like that, and how styling I am right here in this particular photo with my vest and my curls and my beaded choker, because, wow, did we have some interesting fashion choices in the mid-90s. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get you put on fast forward. Before I do, just want to mention, I will put a link to Christy's video in the description box below, so please make sure you go on and check that one out. All right, folks, I'm going to get you put on fast forward. I am working with the Moonlight collection from Pink Paislee. I love the rich colors of this collection, so it should be fun to work with. All right, folks, let's get going. Okay, so I'm going to start by poking through what I have left of the papers here. This is one of the collections, and it's Moonstruck, as I wrote on my screen, not Moonlight. Wrong movie. I started poking through and I realized, oh wait, I want to use white cardstock because I'm going to do a little mixed media. Now I pull out this 6x6 stencil by, it's either Carter Bella or Echo Park, which is the same company anyways, but I decide I have it in use for now. Once I go to actually use it, I change my mind. Now, because in the sketch there are these stitched circles, and you'll see that is paper number 8. I'm trying my best to make sure I'm showing you the papers that I'm using. So before I interrupted myself, in the sketch there are circles that I'm sure are supposed to be stitches. I don't sew, like at all. So instead, I'm going to use those as mixed media. Now, because they are where the circles are, they are underneath where that block of pattern paper and the photo is, I want to get my photo block and its size set before I go and do the mixed media. So I'm going to start by using this scrap of paper I have. I don't know what number that one is, but it is the one with the I think it's 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 squares. So that is what I map my photo with. And next I'm using this feather paper, and I don't know if I show you what paper that is. I'm trying my best. I don't always succeed. And then I'm going to use my triple banner punch, and that is from Stampin' Up, to make flags on either end of that. So that other paper I used, that is the paper number 8 with the teal to almost black butterfly pattern paper in it. And I'm looking for, on the sketch, there is another strip of paper over the pink feather paper, and I decide I'm going to use the washi booklet that I have for that. That's what that thumbs up was about a few seconds ago. So now I'm kind of just poking through what I have of this line, seeing what will work. I see that circular piece. Now in the sketch, that's where the journaling is, but I really love that constellation circular piece that says shine bright. So I decide I'm going to use that as an embellishment instead, and then I will put my journaling somewhere else. So I'm trying to get this photo block all set up so that I know where my mixed media is going to go. So I'm trying to get it loosely glued down because I still have other things I want to tuck in, like that washi tape and some other bits and pieces that will come along during embellishing later on. Now I like the way this is looking, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of extra glue. But before I glue that down, I think I'm going to add my washi. Oh, no, see, here's where I remember to show you that the feather paper is paper number 12. Yay, me. Look at me rocking that, trying to show you guys what I'm using. I am going to add the washi tape, so I am going to add that marble one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it to 2/3 and 1/3, and I'm doing that so I can stretch it behind my photo and that circular piece so it will look like it's 8 inches long, when in reality it's only about 3.5. Yay me! Scrapbooker tricks rule. All right, now that I have that, I am not quite sure. Oh, I'm going to get out my white cardstock and use a pen to mark where my photo block is going to go. I think. Maybe. We'll see. Yes. So I'm also, the mixed media I'm going to be doing distress inks through a stencil with a blending tool. It's a really fun look, and it's not one I do all that often. I use my distress inks more to either just ink the edges of things or for when I make cards. And I make very simple cards, so I don't make videos of them. So I'm using this scrap piece, and what this actually was, the Pink Paislee Summer Lights collection had these hologram squares, and this thin piece of cardstock came behind it. So you'll see what I'm doing here. This is not what I actually meant to do. What I actually meant to do was just mark it was, and then I had planned to use my circle cutters from Creative Memories to do it. But halfway through, I forgot what I was doing, and I pulled out my X-Acto knife, and I realized, I'm like, wait, what are you doing? This is not what you're doing. I was just trying to get an idea of the size I wanted and what circle size would work best for them. So what I'm doing is I'm creating the circles that I will then tuck my stencil underneath and use a combo of a stencil and a mask. So here's where I pull that out, and I realize I don't particularly care for it underneath the stencil. So I'm still trying, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't really like this. So I go back into my container where I hold my stencils, and it's just a freckled fawn bag that they sell their kits in, and I keep all of my stencils in there, and not all of them fit completely in there, but it's good enough for me. And instead I go back for this Tim Holtz Argyle stencil. So I'm going to use a mix of colors that go in this kit. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling elements from the kit and trying to match the colors up. So I'm going to start off with Abandoned Coral. I have my new fancy dancy filming editing program, so I can do little close-ups on snapshots that I can cut out from the video. How amazing is that? If I ever manage to figure out how this editing program works, I'm sure it's well worth the money I spent on it. So as I said, I'm starting off with Abandoned Coral, and I'm going to uh, schmooze that up with spun sugar. And I'm sorry, every time I do this, my camera shakes a little bit, so I do apologize for that. Once I do spun sugar, and I think I'm going to show you a close-up, I'm actually remembering to do things. How awesome am I? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take out the next size of my circle cutters, and I'm just looking for it to be about an inch or an inch and a half bigger, and I'm going to cut a second circle, and I'm going to use that on the sketch, the circle that is just to the left of the circle I've already done. Now, I am going to make a mistake here and start doing inking on that upper portion because I forget, hello, that's the part that's covered, duh. But first I realized that I'm going to have to move my stencil because the direction I chose to do my stencil is not wide enough for what I chose. So, and I realized like, and of course it's a different direction, so I can't do it in one direction and do it in the other direction because it will drive me insane. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I am going to cut away from this in just a second because it's basically the same thing I did using almost the same colors, except this time I'm going to add ripe persimmon and then a little bit of, I think, evergreen bow. I will show you what I use later on. So I start off with ripe persimmon, and now I'm moving to evergreen bow. So my colors that I'm really sticking with are like a peachy corally pink, an aqua, mint, and then a navy, because those are the color combinations I was looking for. I was doing this as part of a challenge for the Secret Not Secret Kit Club, and they were saying choose your favorite color combination, and mine is the navy teal pink combo, but in different shades depending on, you know, the line I'm using. So I also am using that dark blue, which is called, I showed you on the screen, I'm so sorry, I cannot, Chip Sapphire, that's what it is. I knew I'd get it somehow. So you'll see now I have all of my circles done. Yay, I've skipped ahead. And now it is time, I'm going to add some mixed media. I'm going to add more mixed media, I'm going to add some shimmers in Deep Blue Sea. And I'm just going to do some spatters above to the left and below to the right and above to the right of where my photo block is going to go. So I start off with Deep Blue Sea, and now I'm using rose, I think that's rose gold. I'm sure you guys can read it far better than I can. I apologize. Or is it Razzle Dazzleberry? I don't remember. I'm sorry. I have a tiny little preview screen to watch this in, so I cannot tell. I am freezing it, however, so hopefully you guys can read what it is, because I cannot. All right, now everything has dried and I am ready to get going on the rest of my layout. I go ahead and get my photo block glued down, and now I'm going to be going through and embellishing. Now in the sketch, there is a scalloped piece above the photo block. I decided instead just to use this tricolor washi tape. I think it looks really cute. So I was totally happy with that. And then I'm going to grab another strip of washi and I'm going to use that down at the bottom. I was super happy with myself in how much I used the washi strips and in how much I used the rub-ons. Those are two things. It's not like I have a hard time with them. It's just not, my brain isn't drawn to them. My first thoughts are, oh, I should use washi, or oh, I should use rub-ons. But I knew I had a good amount of both of those in this kit left over. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and use them. So I add that it's kind of like an italicized check, or almost a houndstooth black square thing down the bottom along with a gold heart. And then I use in the upper right hand corner, I use another gold heart, and then that starry thing that's pink. And then in the upper left-hand corner, I'm using this kind of nebulous blue piece, and I don't necessarily want it there for the shape of it or the stars of it. I just want it there for the color. And then I'm also going to add another gold heart just to keep, all three of my embellishment clusters, equal. All right, so I'm not going to really use any of the die cuts except that peachy colored butterfly over that Shine Bright die cut. And the only thing I'm going to go back and add is I am going to go back with puffy stickers. But before I do that, obviously right now, I am working on my title, which is going to be also from the Moonstruck collection, these gold embossed alphas. And my title is going to be Oh So 90's. And because this picture is of me, as I mentioned in my introduction, and oh yes, I am oh so 90's in this photo. For those of you, I don't know if you can see or not, but that is a tapestry vest I am wearing, which were very, very popular when I was in the middle part of my high school years. So I'm going to, in my journaling, just talk about how, the types of things we wore and how I thought I was so cool with my fashion style. So I'm looking to make an S here, and I'm going to use a number 8. Now, there is another S because I have two packages of these particular thickers, but I wanted the S to look slightly different and be a little bit smaller because it's the S at the end of like a 90. So I just wanted to differentiate it. So I don't know. In my brain, it made sense at the time, and I like the way it looks, and I don't necessarily, it doesn't scream MacGyvered to me. So I am going to go ahead and jump ahead so you don't have to watch me glue all of those down. So now I'm going to go and finish off my embellishing. Oh, no, first I'm going to do my journaling. So I am writing some lines and I'm having trouble. This is a new pen for me. It's a Pitt pen by, oh, sugar, I don't remember who actually makes it. And now, of course, I can't find it. Oh, there it is. It's a Pitt pen by Faber-Castell, and it has a lip by where the ink is into the metal nib. And unfortunately, I was catching it on the edge of my ruler, so it took me a while to get those lines down, which is ridiculous, but it's what happened. All right, so now I have done my journaling and I'm finishing up my embellishing. I add that little frame, and that is another black and white, and it's the same design that's in the rub-on down at the bottom with the what I'm calling italicized checks. So I'm going to add a third piece of that black and white to the embellishment area in the upper right hand side. But before I do that, I'm going to add a couple of these see-through stickers. I add a couple of hashtag words down at the bottom, and then another heart up at the top, and then another word over on the left-hand side. And now I'm using my ruler to be able to stretch that washi strip across my photo block. And then I'm adding a couple of the washi stickers to different areas, and that's where I add that heart that has that same black and white pattern, so that color is in all three. I'm almost done here. I'm going to clean up a little bit and think about whether or not I want to add anything else, but the answer is going to be no, I don't want to add anything else. So make sure you head on over to Christy's channel and check out her take on this sketch. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I can't tell you guys how much it means for you, to me, for you guys to watch me make scrapbooking videos, and I love to do it. So thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.